My name is Tiana. I'm originally from Argentina. And after getting married and having 2 boys, my husband, my whole family now we moved to China. The pollution got on my nerves, the not understanding what people was telling me, not knowing where to buy food. And then my kids, I didn't know what to do with 2 kids. About September 26th was when I went to the hospital, and it was and we had her, and it was wonderful. I wasn't sure, how it was gonna be to have a 3rd baby, but I just loved her so much, so much. When my boys were asleep, I would just lay her in bed and play with toys and sing songs and just watch her sleep. And when she woke up in the middle of the night, I just nursed her and just loved her. I would spoil her with everything. I felt like I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. April 9th, Tiana was either tired or hungry. I had this plastic bag from the bread I had bought that morning, and so I figured she could play with that plastic bag so she can fall asleep easier, and then I'll go check on her in 5 minutes. When I walked to my bedroom, I went by her door and I hear a kick on the crib. And that kick was, I thought she was playing, but it was her choking. I see her inside the crib with the plastic bag on her mouth. But when I was pulling it out, it was broken. Before it was small, now it was long, and it was inside her mouth. And it just kept coming out. And she was unconscious. I was in shock. I thought, this is not happening, what's going on? I started screaming and I was shaking her, and she wasn't responding. And so my husband came back and took her to the hospital, and I just went down on my knees and prayed. We only had 5 minutes a day that we could see her. It was a very secure area. All the kids were in very critical conditions, so we only were allowed there 5 minutes a day in the evening. And so we would go for our 5 minutes and pray for her and kiss her and touch her. And we would pray for the other kids too. And then we would come back home and keep waiting and just try to do normal life. And about 10 days later, I was lost. I was confused. I thought, God, you've never been so silent before. What was going on, And that's when I opened up the computer and I saw a message that said, have you thought about organ donations? And until that point, my husband and I were in odds. We weren't agreeing on what we wanted to do. But when I saw the message, I was so sure that God was going to save her. And to me, that was God speaking to me. I mentioned that to my husband, and he was okay with that. And for the first time since the accident, we were agreeing on something. We were excited, like she's helping people, she's saving people, and that was exciting for her and exciting for us. And so that same night, we transferred to another hospital. I got to hold her the last time. It was the first time I held her since that accident, and she was warm and beautiful. And I was still praying the same thing, I kept praying, like, I know we're going to harvest her organs, but I keep praying that you bring her back. I just wanted her back, In my mind, I couldn't see how life could be better without her. And Jeremiah says, that the Lord declares, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a good future. And I'm like, what kind of future? How's your future without her? God was comforting me, and I was still able to smile at her and sing her song and kiss her. And we knew at that point that she was going to a better place. She was going to heaven, to a place where there's no tears, there's no suffering, to a perfect place. Why is this all happen? What's the reason? Why did Tiana die? Why did God allow her to die and He didn't save her? When I was reflecting on this, was God saying, I am enough for you. I am all you need. When my father passed away, I was 17 years old and I wasn't a Christian. I cried every day. I gave into temptation. I would turn to alcohol. Didn't like it, but what else could I do? I didn't know what to do. I turned into partying. I was living by myself. It was a horrible situation. Now, when I losing my daughter as a Christian, I felt like God was with me, sitting by me. I have Christ, and He is all I need. He is all I want. The peace, the comfort that He gives me, the encouragement. When I feel down, I just pray for an encouragement, and within seconds or minutes, it comes in little shapes or sometimes in big forms. And that's what I take out of this story. And I don't think the story is finished. I think the story is just beginning. After you lose a loved one, you're not gonna be the same. You have a choice. It's your choice. You have free will. You can choose to go on your own, or you can choose to follow Christ and give Christ your burdens, your pain, and allow Him to come into your heart, to come into your life, to schedule your day, to bring the people you need, to bring the stuff you need, to let Him love you. And that's hard. To allow a God to love you is hard. But once you start allowing God to love you, then it kind of gets nice and you want more and more, and you just keep getting blessed, keep getting loved.